in less than an hour, the House of Representatives will convene to begin the process of possibly making this rescue plan law. Here with a preview of that process and thoughts on the bill, we welcome Democratic Representative Dennis Kucinich of Ohio. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
Well, great to have you. The House, as you very well know, is expected to start voting on this amended plan at 8 a.m. this morning. What do you expect will happen?
I think it's going to be a very close vote. There are a number of us who have serious questions about why we haven't been given any alternative other than this one, which gives a massive bailout to Wall Street and doesn't do anything about addressing the underlying issues of speculation and lack of regulation. If there is a need to put some injection of cash in the economy, there's many other ways we can do it, and also we can make Wall Street pay for it. That's going to be something that I think the American people are going to be very interested in as the details of this begin filtering out after the vote.
You know, you mentioned that your concern here is that this is basically a rescue plan or a bailout for Wall Street as opposed to the homeowner. You heard the president's speech last night. I presume he'll reiterate it, saying that for American families, this will help them meet their daily needs. Was there enough language in this bill to suggest that it'll help the people who are at risk of foreclosure or currently being foreclosed upon?
Well, you know, that's the point. I mean, I have a copy of the bill here with me. Actually, I have two copies, one that I've marked up pretty much. And all of this talk about doing something for homeowners, it's all about encouraging lenders. It's about saying that they may use loan guarantees. There's nothing in here that says shall. And so the American homeowners who are in real financial trouble right now don't have any direct aid or assistance for them. So what we've had is there's a lot of fear that's being drummed up here. I don't know if that's good for markets. There's a point at which there's market psychology needs strengthening. But you know what? You got to do it with the truth. You have to tell the facts to the American people. And we've seen a drumbeat here without the underlying premise really being challenged. That's a problem, because are we just doing this so that we can help a few people unload their bad assets while the American people don't see the underlying issues addressed? We're headed for a deep recession. I don't see anything in this bill that would stop that. We really need a larger debate, and that's why I've said, look, slow down. There's 400 economists who agree with me. 3 Nobel Prize winning economists say there's no reason to rush into this. Get a plan that works. This is not the plan.
You know, it's interesting, Congressman, because a lot of people have suggested that the way we went about this was through fear, and yet the markets last week were down, but they were not down substantially. They held up relatively well. When you look at what has at least evolved in this 10-day period, do you think that we have created enough oversight for the Treasury? Because that was one of the glaring things at the start.
Well, you keep in mind, I mean, there's nothing in this bill that's going to do anything to tame the forces of speculation or to have the kind of regulation that, you know, we relied on the Securities and Exchange Commission to have effective oversight. They haven't done that. There's nothing in this bill that's really going to change that. And here's the other thing that's really interesting. The Senate isn't going to be acting till Thursday. Senate went home. So if the Senate's not acting till Thursday, what in the world are we putting pressure on the Congress on the eve of an election and on the eve of an adjournment to pass something now, which many members you know, haven't read, or they haven't had a chance to analyze if there's any alternatives? Why not give people an alternative? Why not have Wall Street have to pay a stock transfer tax that raise $100 billion that takes some of the pressure off the taxpayers?
Well, so Congressman, so let me ask you that question, because it is a great question. I was reading the same thing myself, saying, hey, wait a second now, as to why Senate is doing this potentially on Thursday, and you're having this discussion this morning. Are you having this discussion this morning to suggest to the markets globally that a solution is close, or are you going to have to adjourn later today and say, you know what, part 2 of this vote has to occur when Senate is voting?
Well, the Senate is going to vote on Thursday. You know, this is why I've said all along, look, we have to have an alternative to this, which helps to stabilize the market and makes Wall Street pay its either fair share or pay the freight costs. We haven't done that. So this is really a vote to try to give encouragement to markets. But you know what? Our leadership isn't whipping for it. They're not telling people to pass it. This has some partisan you know, elements to it, which I don't think is really productive right now. I think that we ought to slow down, have hearings about the legislation, get the testimony of these economists and the Nobel Prize-winning economists who say this bailout is not the answer to what we're being told the problem is.
All right. Well, Representative Kucinich, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know you'll have a busy morning ahead. I appreciate you taking the time.